He walked on stage as just another Elvis. Eyes rolled. Smiles faded. Then he sang one note, and everything changed. Judges froze. The crowd exploded. By the final chorus, no one was comparing him anymore. They weren't hearing Elvis. They were witnessing a legend being born. The lights dim just enough to shift the mood, and the theater settles into that familiar in-between silence. Polite, expectant, but not electric. When the announcer calls his name, there's no dramatic build, no backstory package, just a Filipino man walking calmly toward center stage. He isn't flashy. He isn't trying to impress. His black suit carries a faint Elvis influence, subtle enough that most people miss it at first glance. The applause is respectful, brief, already fading before he reaches the microphone. One judge leans back with folded arms. Another offers a courteous smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes. Elvis tributes are risky here, everyone knows that. Too many have tried, and most have failed. The audience senses it too, whispering softly, curiosity mixed with doubt. He introduces himself in a gentle voice, accented but steady. He talks about growing up in a small Filipino town where music wasn't a dream, it was an escape. Singing wasn't about fame. It was about survival, about helping his family through nights when hope felt thin. His words aren't dramatic, but they're honest, and the room grows a little quieter. When asked why he chose Elvis, he pauses longer than expected. He looks out at the judges, then up at the balcony, as if remembering something far away. Finally, he says simply that Elvis was there when nothing else was. Not a hero, just a voice that stayed. The music begins without warning. A soft guitar fills the space, slow and restrained. A few heads lift. This isn't the bombastic Elvis they expected. He takes a breath, closes his eyes, and sings the first line. The sound is warm, controlled, and startlingly sincere. Conversations stop. A judge's expression changes. The audience leans forward. In that first note, doubt doesn't disappear, but it cracks. And through that crack, something extraordinary begins to emerge. As the melody continues, the shift in the room becomes undeniable. The Filipino Elvis stands still at first, letting his voice do the work. It isn't loud or showy, it's precise, rich, and emotionally grounded. Each note lands with intention, and the audience feels it. People stop thinking about impressions and start listening to the story being told through sound. His eyes open slowly as the song builds. A gentle sway follows, not practiced choreography, but instinct, as if the rhythm is guiding him. The familiar Elvis tone is there, but reshaped, filtered through lived experience, through struggle and resilience. The judges exchange quick glances. One raises their eyebrows, another leans closer to the desk. Something unexpected is happening. Midway through the performance, he takes a risk. He stretches a line, holding a note longer than the original ever did. The theater holds its breath with him. When he releases it, the sound blooms, smooth, powerful, unforgettable. Applause breaks out before the song even ends, scattered at first, then spreading like wildfire. At that moment, comparison disappears. No one is measuring him against Elvis anymore. The audience isn't searching for familiar moves or iconic gestures. They're locked onto him, his voice, his presence, his truth. A judge quietly mouths, "Wow," almost to themselves. Another smiles in disbelief, shaking their head. The final section rises with confidence. His voice grows fuller, commanding the space without overpowering it. Emotion cuts through every word. People begin standing, one by one, as if pulled upward by the sound. Goosebumps ripple across the room. As the last note rings out, it doesn't fade. It lingers, hanging in the air like a question no one wants answered yet. For a split second, the theater is frozen. Then the realization hits, this wasn't a tribute performance. It was a moment that made everyone forget the original. The silence after the final note is heavy, almost unreal. For a heartbeat, no one moves. Then the theater erupts. Applause crashes like a wave, cheers echoing from every corner as the audience leaps to its feet. The Filipino Elvis stands frozen at center stage, eyes wide, chest rising fast, as if he's trying to understand what just happened. This reaction wasn't in his imagination, it's real. The judges are standing too. One claps above their head, another laughs in disbelief, and a third keeps shaking their head as if the moment refuses to make sense. When the noise finally settles enough for words, the praise comes rushing out. One judge speaks first, admitting they were skeptical the second he walked out. Elvis songs, they say, are dangerous territory. But somewhere in the middle of that performance, they forgot about the original completely. What mattered wasn't imitation. It was identity. Another judge adds that he didn't borrow confidence from Elvis, he earned his own, right there on the stage. Then the toughest judge leans forward, voice calm but serious. They explain that legends cast long shadows, and most performers never escape them. Tonight, however, something rare happened. The song stopped feeling like history and started feeling like now. That kind of presence, they say, can't be taught. The contestant finally finds his voice, whispering a thank you as emotion overwhelms him. His hands tremble. Tears shine in his eyes, not from sadness but from relief. From years of singing without being seen suddenly transformed into recognition. As the camera pulls back, the crowd is still cheering, chanting, clapping, unwilling to let the moment end. What began as a risky choice became a defining one. He didn't walk on stage to replace Elvis. He walked off having reminded the world what a legend truly feels like.